Hello there, lovely people. It's Alex from Nintendo Life here, and today we're going to be looking at 21 of the very finest games that have come to the Nintendo Switch between the years of 2018 and 2019. Or if you want to get really specific, these dates. Basically the Switch's second year. This list is in no particular order because just ordering things can cause all sorts of issues in the comments. And they've been selected primarily due to how you lovely people have voted over on NintendoLife.com. If you didn't vote, why? But anyway, that is more than enough waffling. Let's dive right into things. Tetris 99 is a Tetris Battle Royale game, and if that's not the weirdest sentence you've heard all week, I envy your week. You play online against 98 other people, and you try and be the best at Tetris by sending junk lines to your opponents and trying to clear them that get sent to you. It's a brilliant time and a great, fun, free game, as long as you got Nintendo Switch Online. Which makes sense, because it's online only, at least it is the time of recording. There's nothing quite like destroying every friendship you've ever had, and Super Mario Party does that in spades. After what happened with Mario Party 9 and Mario Party 10, this is a wonderful return to form, and it's just like the old Mario parties, but, I mean, it's only got 4 boards, which is a shame, but even so, it's a damn good time, and it's the best Mario Party game for a long bloomin' time. Katamari Damacy REROLL it's Katamari Damacy, only it's a remaster in HD. Who'd have thought it? This is a game where you roll around a small little spherical object known as a Katamari. I think I looked up what it means, but I've forgotten. It means clod. So you roll around this tiny little clod of stuff, and you've got to try and attach other things to it, and roll everything up until you get a nice big honking great thing, and then it goes off into the sky and turns into a star or something else. It's a very sensible and straightforward game, no, but it's amazing fun. I love it to pieces. I'm really pleased I picked it up. I actually paid for this one. Mad. How many people do you want to slaughter in video games? If the number is in the thousands, then Hyrule Warriors may well be the game for you. You run around as various different Zelda characters, even some of the evil ones like Ganondorf and stuff like that, and you've got to try and kill as many as possible, and there are some bigger enemies. It's Dynasty Warriors, if you know what that is, but with a whole Zelda-y skin. It's very tasty and incredibly cathartic. You know all those videos that people have been making where it's like, can you complete X game without doing Y? Well, this is Nintendo's answer to can you complete a Mario game without jumping, and the answer is Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. You walk around these little sort of dioramas, they're like little mini worlds, and you rotate around, and you have to walk around as Captain Toad. He can't jump because he's got a heavy backpack on, and the rest is history. Lovely game, very relaxed, works brilliantly on the Switch. Yeah. Think of a Zelda game, like any Zelda game that you like, and then think, what if that was made by someone else and Link was a dog? You've got Okami. Okami HD is a wonderful retelling of the original Okami game, if that wasn't immediately obvious, and it's just overall a fantastic game, very Zelda-like in its sort of exploration and the way that you navigate around the world and the tasks that you do. The whole thing's a great time, brilliant action stroke adventure game. You know, it's that genre of game that nobody can define. It's great. Have you ever wanted to die but without the commitment? Well, Dark Souls Remastered is the one for you. Die, 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 you're gonna die a lot. It's notorious for being one of the most difficult games of recent memory, or at least it appears to be the first time you go into it. It's a little bit more forgiving than everyone else on the internet makes it out to be, but it's great fun. You've got to learn how the enemies do everything and, you know, learn the tactics, move out of the way, and work your way through with knowledge rather than direct sort of skill and reaction type stuff. It's brilliant. You know, occasionally in Mario games where they have one really hard level right at the end of the game, and it's borderline impossible to do, but there are still some people who can do it without taking a hit on YouTube? Well, Celeste is basically that, the game. As challenging as it is, it's a wonderfully rewarding game, and to get through it, you really have to pay attention. This is like the anti-Dark Souls, because this is all about, you know, sort of skill and platforming and timing and things like that, whilst Dark Souls is just learn what the enemy does and avoid it. The only thing that makes it so hard, though, is the bonus content throughout the game. If you ignore that, then generally the game is a little bit more forgivable, but for those who love a challenge, Celeste is hard to beat. They may not be the Pokemon games that everyone's looking forward to, by which I mean Sword and Shield, but Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee are still wonderful games. They do some things that the series just flat out hasn't done before, and if Sword and Shield is anything to go by, won't ever again. Like, look at all these Pokemon that are just out and about, and you can see them, and you walk up to them, and then they go, ha ha, you're gonna try and catch me, and you don't get to battle them, sadly. If it's not immediately obvious, it's designed to be a bridge between Pokemon Go and Pokemon. If you've never been able to get into the mainline series, this is a great entry point, and one that will, well, I mean, it is very easy, but actually it's a lot more difficult if you don't take Eevee or Pikachu along with you, because they are stupidly overpowered. Do you like JRPGs? Well, maybe you should, because Octopath Traveler is a damn fine one. To say it's got a unique visual style is a massive understatement. There's no game that looks quite like this one. It's also got a deep and really interesting battle system that does a lot more for the genre than most others have in a long time. Think Bravely Default, but if they actually did more with it. I'm not ragging on Bravely Default, I'm just saying Octopath does it better. It's the game where you're playing it and you're pleased you're playing it, but you still kind of wish it was Monster Hunter World, but with all the content of this one. Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate is a pretty much like-for-like port of the original 3DS game, only it's on the Switch, so it's comfortable to play and it doesn't feel like this. There is so much to do in this game, it's a little bit terrifying at times, but it is so worth it, so rewarding. It's another one of those games similar to Dark Souls in many ways, actually. Actually, yeah, the similarities are actually really numerous. You have to learn how the monsters behave and how they attack and how best for you to not then die. Pretty much every mission in the game is a big boss battle, and it's supremely satisfying. Pick it up if you love a challenge and you just want to play a game forever. You know, pixelated 2D action, side-scrolling, platform-type gamey things, which is the full title of the genre, by the way, are overall really not in any short supply at the time of recording. But even so, The Messenger is one particularly spicy number. Amazingly tight controls, brilliant action, a surprisingly lengthy campaign. Overall, if you like this kind of thing, if you're looking at this and you think, wow, that looks like fun, you're not going to be disappointed. It's as simple as that. It's good.
It's Crash Bandicoot 2!
It may not be quite as pretty as it is on the PS4 and the Xbox One, but Crash Bandicoot N-Sane Trilogy is a great time to be had by all. Back when 3D platformers were still definitely finding their feet, Crash Bandicoot came with its own particular style of platforming, and it still holds up today. I mean, it's very much a sort of a retro experience. You're not going to go in there and think, hey, this is a brand new game that's clearly been coded yesterday. But if you're looking for a challenge and to have a lot of boxes dropped on your head, this one's for you. Good God, this is the only roguelike on this list. That's amazing. Dead Cells is pretty much the epitome of what constitutes a great action roguelike, and it's just so satisfying. It takes various elements from things like, I suppose even sort of Metroidvania style games, and incorporates it into the gameplay and makes you have that experience where you just think, oh, just one more run. The whole thing is just effortlessly cool, effortlessly wonderful, and just a brilliant time to be had. Do you like being sad? Because this game will make you sad. Made by the same people who did Limbo, if you remember that back in the day, the whole sort of basically black and white story of a child with a massive head. This takes a surprisingly different approach. It's definitely still a side-scrolling sort of story-driven narrative type affair, but even so, it's a very, very intoxicating one. You'll have puzzles to overcome and things to find out, and the more you pay attention to the game, the more you'll get out of it, and I really can't stress that enough. If you're going to play this game, make sure you give it your full attention. Don't have children running around going, no. It's a 2D Mario game on the Nintendo Switch, and it's a bloody good one. Yes, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe may be a little bit lacking in terms of originality, but if you want a damn fine 2D platformer that's a Mario on it, you can't really do much better than this. Everything's been refined beautifully, it looks and performs fantastically. You can now play as Peachette, which causes some confusing thoughts for some people, and if you want to just have a bit of fun, do it. It's not tough, but do it. This is a bit of a wobbly one in my eyes. I really like Starlink Battle for Atlas. I really, really do. There's so much to like about it, especially with all the Star Fox content and everything like that. It's kind of like the last hurrah for Toys to Life, and sadly, I think that's kind of its downfall. Because this game did not do well commercially. It really, I mean, you can pick up the game with an R-Wing and all that gubbins and everything, that this is the physical game, for like 15 or 12 quid now. It's insane. And whilst it's by no means perfect, it's still a really good fun game, and I think it's a little bit underrated. Well, I say that, but it's on this list which you lot have had a hand in, so I just don't know anymore. Oh, let me count the ways in which I love thee. I remember hearing about Hollow Knight, God knows, way back when, back with the Wii U stuff and everything, and I thought it was like somebody trying to play off Shovel Knight, and I was like, what? But having played it, and played it to completion now, although admittedly I still haven't been able to do the final bit of the Path of Pain. Oh, you horrible, horrible devs. If you enjoy exploring a beautifully crafted world with some serious difficulty sprinkled in there as well, Hollow Knight is difficult to beat. I have no reservations in my personally saying that Hollow Knight is, in my opinion, the best Metroidvania on the Switch at the time of recording, and that is not an easy thing to say. Top to bottom, this game is gorgeous, amazing, beautifully refined. If you haven't got it, just buy it, damn it!
It's bleeding out! Go faster!
And the great warmth washing over me.
Towel!
I think the sky's on fire.
Please don't die. Caroline is dying.
Press.
How the hell did they get this game over to the Switch? I mean, good God. If you've seen this in the shops and you think that this is some kind of watered down Wolfenstein II, or that it runs, you know, terribly or anything like that, think again. Honestly, this is just a feat of engineering like nothing else I've seen. This is the full Wolfenstein II experience, but on the go, on the Switch, and honestly, I think it looks great. Yeah, it doesn't look as good as it does on the Xbox One, or the PS4, or the Wii U, but this is Wolfenstein 2 running on a system that draws 7 watts, which is insane. Like, there are light bulbs that draw more than that, and they're not even that bright if they're incandescent. Oh yeah, it's fun as well. Oh, sweet lordy business be still my beating heart. You know what, I'm just gonna say it, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is the best platformer on the Switch in my opinion. Honestly, well, at least 2D. There's Odyssey as well, isn't there? Every single level is entirely unique and handcrafted to look completely and utterly different to everything else that you've seen. You've got stuff like this. And then you've got stuff like this. Donkey Kong controls perfectly, it's got multiplayer. Oh lord, if you haven't got this game, you are dead to me.
Search your soul and reawaken the undying light.
We had to end it with a bang, didn't we? Yes, we said this was in no particular order, but I like to make an exception now and then. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, what can I say about it that hasn't already been said? A phenomenal game, eons of content, there's just so much here to unpack. It's been so well refined, and I don't give a damn what, I see sometimes on the subreddits that say things like, oh, there are some real issues with competitive play. You know what? Get in the bin. This is the best I've ever been in a Smash Bros. Game, and I think I'm more competitive at it now than I have been with any of the other games that I've played countless hundreds of hours in. So you know what? Shove it. I don't care. I love Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and I am making this video. But even if you're not competitive, there is just an enormous amount of fun to be had here. Get your friends over, crack open a few beers or maybe something soft if you're younger than that, and just enjoy yourself, okay? And just everyone play as King K. Rool, because that's the only way to play. And there you have it. That is 21 of the very best games that have come to the Nintendo Switch between these dates. Did we miss a game that you're absolutely enamored with and you feel that absolutely should have 100% been every single one in this list? Let us know down there in the comments. Although, do make sure that it actually came out between these two dates. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, then why don't you blabber about 21 of your favorite subscribe buttons and call it content? And be sure to check out NintendoLive.com for all sorts of lovely Nintendo-related content. Thank you again for watching. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, then why don't you... I don't know. But even so, it's still a damn good time and it's the best Mario Party game on the Switch.